Hello everybody, happy holidays and welcome to the fastest half hour in the cryptid world. This Week in Bigfoot, the news show that scours the internet and the Bigfoot community each and every week to bring you the people, the places and the stories making headlines around the Bigfoot world. Then we take it and we wrap it up in a nice, neat 30-minute package. If it has to do with Sasquatch, Bigfoot or the Wildman, trust me, we've got you covered. This week we take a look at how Bigfoot perceives time and how its perception quite possibly makes it one hell of an apex predator. Mike Luci investigates the title of Bigfoot Experts and wonders, are there really any experts out there? Snowwalker Prime's got Sunny Vader in his sights and lives up to his moniker in a brand new 2 minutes with, and could CRISPR-9 and Gigantopithecus help create a modern-day Bigfoot? These stories and more Bigfoot news to get you in the holiday season, so you better buckle up, settle in, and smash that subscribe button. Oh, and pay attention because we move fast around here. You ready? The clock's ticking. Let's go.
911, what are you reporting?
He's walking upright like a man.
With someone or something going around out here.
But he went back up the mountain.
Get somebody out there.
What's going on now, sir?
That son of a bitch is about 6'9", I don't know. He's all black and big. He is big.
Last week, we took a shot at trying to answer the question of Bigfoot's massive stature by offering up a hypothetical look into the workings of its muscle-bound, hair-covered body. This week, we shift our focus to Bigfoot as an apex predator and examine how its unique perception of time contributes to its formidable hunting prowess. In nature, predators and herbivores take advantage of distinct adaptations for navigating their environment efficiently. One intriguing difference lies in the perception of time, with predators appearing to operate at an accelerated pace compared to herbivores. This phenomenon is deeply rooted in evolutionary strategies and survival tactics. Predators, including big cats, birds of prey, and most likely Bigfoot, have evolved into highly efficient hunters, relying on speed, agility, and acute sensory perception. These adaptations enable them to process stimuli rapidly, creating the illusion of a different time perception. Their heightened awareness and quick reflexes allow them to take advantage of hunting opportunities swiftly. One key factor in this perceived time difference is called time dilation, where the intense focus of predators like Bigfoot during hunting, coupled with adrenaline surges, leads to the perception of time slowing down. This altered state facilitates split-second decision-making and precise movements. Reports suggest that Bigfoot uses this method to evade researchers as well as to stalk and hunt animals such as elk and deer. In contrast, herbivores focus on evasion, vigilance, and endurance, prioritizing avoiding predators over pursuing prey. The difference in time perception is also influenced by their lifestyle. Predators like Bigfoot experience longer periods of rest. We talked about this last week, contributing to time dilation during critical moments. Herbivores, on the other hand, engage in continuous, vigilant activity throughout the day, as you often see animals such as deer or even horses grazing endlessly. Neurobiology also plays a role, with predatory brains specialized for rapid decision-making and sensory processing. Herbivores, on the other hand, prioritize sensory acuity and pattern recognition for threat detection. In conclusion, the apparent time perception difference between predators and herbivores is very complex, shaped by behavioral, physiological, and ecological factors. Predators like Bigfoot's accelerated pace during hunting reflects finely tuned sensory and motor capabilities, emphasizing the diverse evolutionary pressures and survival tactics that shape their behaviors.
It bugs me when I hear people refer to Bigfoot researchers and investigators as experts. I mean, I like to describe myself as an amateur field researcher or investigator. Not only can the word expert be used subjectively and ambiguously, but in the grand scheme of things, there's a feasible argument out there that Bigfoot experts don't necessarily exist. In a nutshell, the term expert is defined as someone with a high level of knowledge or skill pertaining to a particular subject or activity. They must have a thorough knowledge of facts tied to that subject matter, and from a scientific perspective, when it comes to what we know or think we know about the Bigfoot phenomenon, there are no facts. It's all speculation. As some critics and skeptics point out, how can we know anything for certain about a creature whose existence hasn't even been proven? This doesn't cut it in the scientific community. I mean, think of it like this. There are no confirmed, indisputable facts about Squatches because, to reiterate, it's yet to officially be discovered. It hasn't been observed by scientists in the wild, meaning there's no recorded data on its biological profile or mannerisms like habitat, diet, mating and migration patterns, or communication methods. Now, there's two sides to this coin. While we laid out the argument why scientific Bigfoot experts don't exist, some argue that Bigfoot experts come in different forms. These experts are knowledgeable on certain aspects of the topic that don't require scientific backing. Their areas of focus are on tangible, confirmable details and other outliers, things like Bigfoot lore, histories of famous incidents and locations, or data pulled from encounters. Having said that, the subject matter doesn't pertain to the creature's biology. So while these people might specialize on the history of Bigfoot or similar aspects, their historical and statistical knowledge doesn't necessarily apply to the actual creature. So what do you think? Do Bigfoot experts exist? The answer is probably both yes and no. We explained the argument why scientific Bigfoot experts don't exist. To reiterate, nobody has ever officially discovered one, meaning they've never been studied by scientists. On the flip side, many people in this field have encyclopedic knowledge on the extensive archive of eyewitness reports, famous incidents, locations, and lore. So whenever you hear someone throw around the term Bigfoot expert, keep in mind that it's all about context when determining if it's being used correctly, or at least in a more widely acceptable manner.
In recent years, advancements in genetic engineering and cloning technologies have sparked a fascinating quest to resurrect extinct species, everything from mammoths to saber-toothed tigers. And while the ethical implications of such endeavors are a topic of heated debate, one intriguing possibility sneaks out from the shadows. Could cloning Gigantopithecus, the ancient hominid, help unravel the mystery surrounding Bigfoot? Among these projects currently underway is the resurrection of woolly mammoths, the colossal creature that once roamed the icy tundras around the globe. Researchers are using CRISPR technology to insert mammoth genes into elephant genomes, hoping to create a hybrid species that exhibits mammoth traits. This bold initiative raises questions about ecological impact and the potential restoration of ecosystems. Similarly, the notion of bringing back the saber-toothed tiger is also gaining traction in some parts of the world. Geneticists are exploring the possibility of using DNA from well-preserved remains to resurrect these fearsome predators. The revival of such an apex predator prompts concerns about their role in today's ecosystem and the delicate balance of nature. Along with these discussions of cloning extinct megafauna, the spotlight turns to Gigantopithecus, the ancient hominid that lived in Asia during the Pleistocene epoch. And while Gigantopithecus is not synonymous with Bigfoot, the similarities between the two are striking. Gigantopithecus was an immense ape standing over 10 feet tall, and the existence of such a creature could provide insights into the persistent Bigfoot legends. Reported sightings and anecdotal evidence have fueled speculation, but concrete scientific proof remains elusive on Bigfoot. Cloning Gigantopithecus could offer a unique opportunity to study the creature that shares physical traits with the legendary Bigfoot, potentially shedding light on the origins of this mysterious cryptid. And while the idea of cloning extinct animals holds scientific intrigue, it does come with challenges and ethical considerations. Beyond the obvious technical hurdles of obtaining viable DNA from ancient specimens, there are concerns about the impact of introducing resurrected species into modern ecosystems. Additionally, the ethical implications of creating and potentially exploiting a creature like this raises questions about the responsibility of humanity in playing the role of genetic architects. The push to clone and resurrect extinct animals presents a fascinating frontier in scientific exploration, and while the resurrection of mammoths and saber-toothed tigers captures the headlines, the potential cloning of Gigantopithecus holds a unique promise in solving the Bigfoot mystery. As science continues to push the boundaries, we may one day find ourselves on the brink of unlocking ancient secrets and perhaps encountering creatures once thought consigned only to the depths of history.
Tonight's episode is sponsored by Larix.
So when you realize how quickly AI software is improving at creating hyper-realistic pictures and videos, it's getting good. And when I mean good, I mean like scary good. And it's going to make our ability to weed out the fakes in this space a lot harder. We covered in episode 20 how AI-generated images are becoming a growing problem in the Bigfoot community. Many of these images look deceptively real, and while AI-generated pictures have some identifiable giveaways, this new wave of content is going to be in a whole new level. My buddy Alex Petikoff showed me this Twitter thread from Rowan Chung that highlights some of these recent advancements in AI design software. Check out this AI from Picolabs, for example. Not only can it create videos straight from text, but users can literally modify shape and size of their canvases, even apply real-time edits to features like clothing. Some AI software, like you see here in one called FreePic, can now literally convert sketches to realistic images based on the most rudimentary abstracts. Just give it some context, it fills in the blanks. And one that caught my eye has features that can exponentially enhance image quality. I mean, look at it, the difference is like night and day. So, while this technology offers a lot of benefits, scenarios for malicious uses are just as plentiful. And in our case, it's going to give hoaxers an array of tools and resources to create imperceptibly realistic photos and videos. Now, should a potentially credible photo or video wind up emerging, it probably won't even escape the crippling stigma these AI images are going to attach. Many think we're long beyond the point where photos and videos simply won't cut it as proof of this creature's potential existence anymore. And frankly, I'm inclined to agree. And, honestly, based on what we're seeing with this AI stuff, it's going to get worse. Even if we do spend time looking for flaws and giveaways in this new wave of AI-generated content, that's only half the battle. You'll still have scores of willfully ignorant people who will believe in these fraudulent images, no matter what you say. And unfortunately, those numbers are likely bound to increase. The new wave of AI is going to give hoaxers a lot more capabilities, and for those of us trying to fight this while working towards solving this ageless mystery, we should prepare for our uphill battle to get a lot steeper.
All right, folks, time to check your watches. We are officially halfway through episode 38, which can only mean one thing. It's the part of the show where we give content creator Michael Merchant, you might know him as Snowwalker Prime, screen time to speak his mind and get what's ever bothering him off his chest. Last week was Todd Standing. This week it's Sonny Vader. This is 2 Minutes With.
Echo Station 3K. Spotted a serial walker. Echo Station 3K. Spotted a serial walker.
What do you get when you cross Bigfoot with a dog? Nobody knows, but every time I take a picture, it turns out blurry. I have found the most amazing channel. I just love how you throw it amazing. It really is. This guy got video of this huge, giant, massive Sasquatch. Law enforcement in Canada is using him to help track it down because the thing killed a person and apparently ate it. This is pretty crazy even for you. Yeah, but it's all real. A whole bunch of people. The comment section is all positive. There's no negative comment. Do you ever think maybe he's deleting them? Why would he delete positive comments? He's not deleting positive comments. He's deleting the negative comments, you fool. This is pretty early into the conversation for you to be calling me names. All right, I'm gonna regret this. Who is this channel? So the guy's name is Sonny Valor. I think you mean Sonny Vader. You know him. Yes, he's been at this for a long time. Don't you think his material's amazing? There's a guy standing there in a white Tyvek suit that's picking up the remains of the bones and then taking photographs of it for the police. Wouldn't it make more sense to take photographs before you collected the bones? Gee, I hadn't thought of that, but that makes a lot of sense. And then the guy yells at the people and tells them to stay back, don't cross the line.
Over the line!
Restricted area, stay back.
You know this is performance art, right? What do you mean by performance art?
Smokey, this is not Nam, this is bowling. There are rules.
Hey.
Guy's an artist. It's a documentation of I've told you, this is a cannibalistic Sasquatch that killed a person. Those are police officers. I will say I love this guy's channel. Wait, what? You like this guy's channel? Yeah, he's awesome. Are you flashing the gang sign? Is this sarcasm? No, I really like this guy's channel. He puts a lot of effort into it. He's been at it for a long time. It's tongue in cheek. It's brilliant.
Am I the only one around here who gives a shit about the rules?
I don't think it's tongue-in-cheek. This is factual information. Well, then there should be news reports and newspaper articles, and TV should be covering this. Well, yeah, you'd think they would, wouldn't you? Of course they would. If this was legit, this would be all over the news if a Sasquatch killed a person and then ate it. But you can't argue against the bones. He's got a whole bag of bones there. It just looks like roadkill to me. And I suppose you would be an expert. Well, I am a bit of an expert at bones. Aha! Finally comes out. You conceited, self-promoting know-it-all. Look, I don't know why you're getting so angry at me. This is some of the best pristine Bigfoot evidence I've ever brought to you, and you're spoofing on it. I'm not spoofing on it. I told you, this guy is brilliant.
You think I'm fucking around here marking zero?
Well, at least we agree it's incredible. I think the problem here is not so much with Sonny, but with the people that think it's real. Are you referring to me? Yeah, I'm referring to you. This is laughable. This is comedy. He's trolling the Bigfoot community. It's not a troll, it's Bigfoot. It actually kind of looks like a troll, the mask that he uses. You don't know it's a mask. It's amazing. The thing's like 9 feet tall. It's huge. It must weigh 500-600 pounds. So I'm saying it's brilliant performance art that he pulls this off. Did you see it throw the tree? No human could throw a tree like that. How do you know that? You have no idea what these trees weigh. There's a guy in the comment section that says he works construction and says it's impossible. There's no way a person could do this. It has to be a Sasquatch. Would you find it interesting that the Sasquatch is always perfectly centered in the field of view? It's because Sonny is amazing. He's amazing, but for different reasons than you would think. Because he captures all this Bigfoot evidence. The Bigfoot is Sonny. The law enforcement officer is Sonny. It's all sunny. Yes, it's a beautiful day out. No, Sonny, Valor, Vader.
I am your father, Luke.
I didn't say Darth Vader. Sonny, Valor. Now you got me confused. Vader, Sonny Vader. Finally, you admit that you're confused about Bigfoot being real. This is not evidence that Bigfoot is real. Agree to disagree. Have you watched all of this guy's videos? It's laughable. You laugh at all of this stuff. You don't think any of it's real. Like I said, I think the problem here isn't with Sonny. It's with the nitwits that buy into this BS. Are you calling me a nitwit? I think we'll agree to disagree.
The league game smoke.
Super shy. Wanna go out with you? Where you wanna go? Found the spot, just sit and talk, looking pretty. Follow me. 우리 둘이 나란히 보이지? 내 눈이 갑자기 빛나지? When you say I'm a dream. You don't even know my name, do ya? You don't even know my name, do ya? 누구보다도 super shy.
Wild Bigfoot by Larix, the official hat of This Week in Bigfoot, sponsored by Larix.
It's time once again for the Bigfoot Rundown. The Bigfoot Rundown.
Check out this peculiar image coming from Mount Washington in northern New Hampshire. It's a still shot from the summit's observatory deck taken on November 21st at 5:52 p.m. Conditions were pretty frigid at the time. It was about 23 degrees Fahrenheit with 22-mile-an-hour winds. Sunset occurred at 4:13 p.m. that day, so it was already dark. The observatory is staffed year-round and is only open to the public from May to October. However, the outside areas are still accessible to hikers, so we can't rule this out being a person just yet. I tried getting a height range for our figure using the metal railing, but didn't make much headway. According to Canva, the railing's height equates to about 45 pixels. The figure measured at about 115 pixels, meaning it's 2.55 times taller than the railing. Keep in mind the gate and figure aren't side by side, so there's a margin of error here to consider. Again, not much help, but still an interesting image nonetheless.
Regular readers of Sharon Hill's Strange Times on Substack have noticed lately that Sharon has not been posting weird news briefs for the last couple weeks. The reason, according to Hill, is that she has not been finding any worthwhile news stories. Most are too silly to discuss, or even manufactured hoaxes or overhyped, she said. and she's not in a place where she can afford to waste a lot of time digging through all the shit online to find good stories. Additionally, Hill went on to say that she isn't too pleased with Substack right now, considering their growing reputation to host hateful speech. Now, Sharon will be consolidating all her work on SharonAHill.com, and I will be moving over to that website to follow her. I'd like to thank Sharon for her work on Substack, as we here often sift through her newsletters on a weekly basis to find some great stories to share with you. We wish Sharon all the best of luck on SharonAHill.com.
Got another potential skunk ape trail camera photo, but this one has a twist. It was taken at the Crowley Museum and Nature Center. If you remember when we reviewed Outcast Paranormal Skunk Ape Experiments docuseries, they ran some pretty wild tests at that same exact location. It was posted on the Nature Center's Facebook page, where it got some colorful feedback from commenters. One Facebook user upped the picture's exposure to try and get a little more definition of said figure. Another outlined the figure's shape, showing why it could be a bear or skunk ape, either or. Commenters mainly proposed it could be a young skunk ape, black bear, or a wild boar. The figure doesn't look particularly tall. We can't rule out wild boars or black bears, as both are known to frequent this part of Florida. It's still an interesting photo for sure. We'd love to know what you think this trail camera caught, so drop us a line in the comments.
A TikToker that goes by the handle Carol Leanne 1984 was watching a video she took while walking her dogs. After watching and re-watching the video, Carol noticed someone or something off in the distance past the tree line. Check this one out.
Pay attention to those areas right there, because after it walks through the trees like it, right there, it walks out of that clearing. So there's me zooming in, but people couldn't see that, so I zoomed in even more right here. But it was moving faster than that. That's slowed down. Watch the dogs right here. They kept looking up. See that up in the clearing right there? I caught that later, and so I zoomed in on that. It doesn't go, it goes out, but here's, if you zoom in too much, it really distorts it. I don't know what it is.
Now, there were a lot of comments on this post. Most said they thought it was a man in a suit. Others didn't believe it had the walk of Bigfoot. What do you think? Let us know in the comments.
I found this account on a new YouTube channel called Stories Unscripted. Make sure to check it out after this episode. We'll drop a link in the description. The host Scott says this story comes from a man named Dennis, who claimed to have 2 encounters in eastern Ohio. Check out a clip detailing his first sighting.
So I'm driving up the highway, and I happened to glance to my left, and that's when I saw this huge creature standing on the exit ramp of County Road 56. He goes on to say, I looked at my clock, and it was 5:45 a.m. So as I was driving, I kept saying to myself, what the hell was that? I'm talking about 8 feet tall with a 4-foot shoulder span. It's been embedded in my head ever since that morning.
The second one is where things get interesting. Dennis said he was with a friend flying their drone. His friend was reviewing the drone footage afterwards and spotted this strange figure. Check it out. Dennis said they returned to investigate the area and allegedly found these prints.
We started investigating and looking around and found some of the biggest prints I've ever seen.
Eastern Ohio is a purported Bigfoot hotspot, but as some of our more critically minded and skeptical viewers may point out, what are the odds of one person having 2 encounters in 2 completely different areas? As always, let us know what you think Dennis and his friend caught on drone camera in the comments.
Here's a strange little movie announcement for you. Apparently, the Zellner brothers have shot a top secret movie called Sasquatch Sunset, with stars Riley Keough and Jesse Eisenberg. The film is finished and set for release into theaters in 2024. No other details were available except that the movie stars Keough and Eisenberg apparently sport a lot of fur. Nothing else is confirmed. The Zellner brothers have already made 2 short films for the Sundance Film Festival entitled Sasquatch Birth Journal 1 and 2 which posed as a found footage movie depicting a Sasquatch family. Keeping in the media news, ever wonder what country star Blake Shelton does when he's not touring or recording TV shows? Well, he's into Bigfoot. Check this one out.
I just got good news, John. Just got approved to join the Facebook Oklahoma Bigfoot Research and Bigfoot Sightings group.
Approved? You had to apply?
Congrats. I got approved. And it was like I filled out this questionnaire and it says, do you believe in Bigfoot? And I wrote, yeah. And it was like, you're in.
Oh my God, I've always wondered who are these people that fills out these questionnaires.
What are they seeing in Oklahoma? I saw him.
And really it was you. They just spotted you.
I can't wait to watch this stuff.
We'd like to wish Blake all the luck in the world, and we hope to hear that he's out in the woods of Oklahoma, where he lives, hunting for Bigfoot soon. And that's this week's Bigfoot Rundown. The Bigfoot Rundown. It's time once again for Chuck Larson and this week's Top 5 Bigfoot Podcasts and Live Streams.
Starting at number 5, it's the Ignotus channel. This podcast started the Bigfoot Sasquatch series a couple of weeks ago. This episode is in conversation with Dennis Rickman. Check it out.
The best thing I've experienced is stuff being thrown at me, rocks.
Okay, yeah, I know.
I have no explanation for what it was, and I found one of them that was thrown. We're at a research area up in Mowat Township. It's south of Sudbury.
Okay.
And we were sitting around the fire, and surrounding the fire was a rocky area that was covered with soft moss for a good, I don't know, 10, 15 meters between the tree line and us.
Yeah.
And 3 or 4 things, you'd hear them go thud, thud, thud.
Yeah.
On the moss behind us. There's no trees overhanging. It wasn't walnuts or chestnuts. It wasn't branches falling from trees. It was something, I don't know, maybe a raven grabbed a rock and flew over and tried to dive bomb us.
This week at number 4, it's Squatch and Holler. Host Roger is really excited to have Lauren A. Smith, Nightcaller's Bigfoot Radio, on his podcast. Take a listen.
But it could see her washing dishes at the kitchen sink.
Wow.
If it stood in that spot. And so the spot was well worn and it stunk really bad. So she had her friend, she said, I'm going to hold up a PVC pipe with a hat on it and you tell me when to stop on how tall it was, because Mom remembered a pine knot next to its face. Mm-hmm. And so she held up the PVC and Mom's like, taller, taller. And she kept going. It ended up being 11 foot.
Whoa.
And she said this thing was black and it had like a basketball player build, but bulkier.
Right.
And she saw it, and it really rocked her world.
Coming in at number 3, it's Renaissance Man, Dead Sasquatch of Vancouver, Real Bigfoot Encounters, and a bonus, DIY clothes hangers in the woods.
Sky Lee's gonna build us a clothes hanger today. Let's show us how it's done, Sky Lee.
All right, go get the chainsaw. Is that in here?
She switched it up to the chisel.
Okay.
3 screws held it, and it's solid as a rock.
So now that Sky Lee has built us a beautiful rustic clothing rack, now we're going to move on with the Sasquatch stories. Places the incident near the head of Gardner Canal in the spring of 1905. He says that while hunting from a canoe with another man, Billy Hall saw 2 animals in a clear spot on a mountainside near the ocean and shot and killed one of them, thinking they were bears. He reached the spot. However, he found one of the creatures bending over the fallen one, apparently trying to revive it, just like a human might do. Terrified, he fled back to the shore with the surviving Sasquatch in pursuit. There he found his partner asleep in the beach canoe. Terror lent him such the strength that he whisked the canoe down into the water, partner and all, without a pause.
At number 2, it's the facts of how to hunt. Nino's Corner. Nino and I, round 2.
This guy's out hunting not far from where I am right now, right? Sees one of these beings described as a Sasquatch being. Same description.
Okay.
Shot it. Dumped it, right? And then he's like, oh shit, I did something real bad. He goes home that way, and that way is up and over the next mountain. So he's back towards the east side of the island. He lived about 20 miles away or something from where he shot this thing, right? That night, his little home, his little trailer, got the living shit beat out of it. It looked like a Bud Light can on the ground right now, right? Caved in. The guy killed himself. Couldn't take it. Killed himself.
The number 1 spot for this week's top 5 list is the Sasquatch Encounter Brigade. Giant Sasquatch encounter with Georgia hunters.
4 of his heifers, roughly 400 to 500 pounds, got their necks broke. They weren't drug off. They weren't mutilated. Just their necks broke. About a half a mile down the road, my great uncle had a pig farm, a commercial pig farm. And he had a fairing house, which was below grade. You had to walk down these steps to get to it. And then there was these big double barn doors that were made out of tuba tins. And when you would get in it, you had to pull this tuba tin out, you know, the way the old people would block their doors. But there was these corrals that were only about 3 feet tall. When these sows would come in before they had their babies, he would move them into these corrals for them to have their young because the boars would kill them. Well, he had 3 females in the fairing house. 3 or 4 days after the cows got killed, something busted this barn door off the hinges, picked up a 450-pound sow, didn't open the corral, and walked out the door with it, and it was not a trace of it was ever found.
All right, folks, it pains me once again to tell you that we are all out of time for this week's episode. I'd like to thank you for watching and remind you to like and share everything we do here at the Catskill Appalachian Research Collective. You got to tell your friends. And if you have any questions or comments, or maybe a story you'd like to see us cover on the show, you can always drop us a line at thisweekinbigfootnewscast@gmail.com. So, until next week, for Mike Luci, Chuck Larson, and Snowwalker Prime, I'm Brendon Brown reminding you that when it comes to getting your Bigfoot news, be informed, not biased. Happy holidays. We'll see you next week.